Hi, this is Scott again, and today I'm going to be making a video on why do I carry concealed. That's right, why do I have a concealed carry permit in the state of Pennsylvania, which is called license to carry a firearm. And this started from the beginning. When I was in college, I used to come home during the summers in the rough streets of Camden, New Jersey. And while I was in college, I fell in love with playing pool. You know, they had a pool table in the student center. They had one in the dorms. And I used to go around playing my classmates, and I actually got pretty good. I wasn't the best, but I got pretty good. So during the summer, I was actually come home and would look for a place to play pool. Of course, I didn't have any money because I was a post student. So I would go to the local bars. I would see which bars had a pool table, and I'd go in, and of course you maybe paid $1.50 per game. You put your quarters in there. Beat the pool hall because they were charging like $10, $15 for the night. So I played pool, and I actually got pretty good. And you know, some guys used to talk a lot of stuff. I actually used to beat them real bad. Sometimes I used to leave them with all their balls on the table just to have fun because, you know, they were kind of ignorant. I like it when dudes used to talk real slick. So that way I play them out completely, you know. I have fun doing it. But then what I found over time is that a lot of these guys that, you know, were in these bars, they wanted to gamble. And I wasn't gambling because, one, I didn't have any money, and two, I didn't like gambling. You know, it wasn't my thing. You know, I used to go to bars. I really didn't even drink, you know. In fact, I didn't have my first drink till I was 26 years old. So, you know, I started going, I started beating guys, and then, you know, time and time again, the guys would actually want to fight, you know. But back then, you know, I was big. I was about 6'3", 6'4", about 320 pounds. I was benching like 400. So a fight really wasn't a thing to me, you know, and I just show them I wasn't a punk, and 9 times out of 10 they back down. But once in a while, what was starting to happen more frequently is that these guys would be in a bar and have to be related to half the people in the bar. So, you know, people start crowding around me, and I'm having to fight crowds of people just over a pool game, you know, which was silly. So my father, who was a correction officer in Philadelphia, back then was prison guard, you know. I know that's a new connotation, correction officer. Back then he was a prison guard at Holmesburg Prison in Philadelphia. And what he told me was that he wanted me to go out and buy a pistol. He asked me to go out and get a 32 automatic, and he wanted me to start carrying it because he said his saying was, I had rather you be tried by 12 than carried by 6. I don't know if they could have carried me at 320 pounds. 6 probably been about 8, but you know. So I actually started carrying the gun. After he told me, I was kind of scared about carrying a gun because I really rather fight than carrying a gun. But I did it, you know, at my father's advice. He told me, never use this your last chance, fight first. And if you had no place to run and you're back to the corner, that's when you use it. And once you use it, leave. Just do what you have to do. And that's what actually started me carrying a gun in New Jersey. Was actually illegal. My own father was actually a law enforcement asked me to start carrying a gun because he cared about me. So then years later, of course, a long time from then, now I live in Pennsylvania, and thank God I'm allowed to carry legally because I hated carrying a gun illegally. Even though I needed it, it was real bad, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm telling you, I was always a working man, never sold drugs, none of that kind of stuff, and I would be working second shift, maybe third shift, and I would come home, maybe I'd be a little hungry, and I would go to the Chinese store or something like that, and the sticker boys, you could see them a mile away. They'd have their black hoodies on, and they'd come up into the stores, and they know you're a working guy, you know, you got a car and all that kind of stuff, and man, they'd be waiting for you when you get out your car, when you're in the store, ordering your money. As soon as they see the money trying to pass over the counter, they'd be stalking you standing in the store. You know, one time I was almost carjacked, you know, when I was about 19 years old. I was carjacked. I actually had a girl in the car with me, went by a friend of mine, and I just saw him stand out in front of his house, said hello. Some guy came up to me, pointed a 32 automatic Davis Industry at my head, told me to get out the car. Back then was before Christ days, and I told him, get the F out of here. You know what I'm saying? And I closed the door because he had opened the door. I closed the door, told him to get the F out of here, and I pulled off. The girl was next to me, was crying. She was screaming, oh, don't bring me by here again. I said, listen, girl, you from Canada just like I am. That could have happened anywhere. You know, matter of fact, the same guy that tried to carjack me about a week later, I was coming from the same guy's house, and which was only probably about 4 blocks away from where I live. And I saw the guy robbing some kids coming off the bus, buying their school clothes. You can see, you know, they had the Nike bags, they had their clothes from Macy's or whatever was popular back in the 90s. And the guy, 2 guys walk up to the two students or the 2 kids, and they would, you know, start looking at their bags and start grabbing at the bags. At first, the kids, they were like, kind of like laughing, like, yeah, right, you know. Then the guy pulled a gun out. The kids start backing up, trying to run the other way. The guy shot the other guys about 6 times in the stomach. And they started running towards the hospital. Fortunately, the hospital was probably about a block or 2 away. Well, I don't know what happened to the guy that got shot, but the guy that actually shot the kids actually went to jail. He was a juvenile himself. I think he was about 17, so he probably did adult time. So I carry, and nowadays, you know, to bring it forward, nowadays I actually carry concealed because of my past occupations. From age 15 to 30, I actually bounced bars, clubs, and things of that nature. And I don't remember half the people that I had to throw out, hit, or beat with my nightstick that I used to carry. Also, I was actually a chaplain at a prison, and some of the inmates actually threatened me. And then prior to moving to Pennsylvania, I had 2 incidents when people on the road saw me and recognized me, and they plotted after hurting me. They tried to hurt me. So that was one of the reasons why I left the state of New Jersey, and because I knew in Pennsylvania my Second Amendment rights were respected, and also they had the stand your ground law. So in the future, if one of them tries to hurt myself or my wife or any of my family members visiting me from New Jersey, I'm actually able and capable of defending myself legally without any legal repercussions. Now, on the table, you'll see my Glock 19, which I'm using as my summer carry right now, because it's a lot lighter than my Beretta 8040 Mini Cougar. And the two actually, this is a 9mm Glock 19. I carry black Talons in it. See those nice little guys right there. This is really for the zombie apocalypse, because you see my hand grenade and my tattoo knife for the zombie apocalypse. You know, and I really thank God that I don't live in the hood anymore, because now you do have like these pharmaceutical grade zombies now. It may not be like the movies, but these guys are hopped up on some stuff that's powerful, and you know, you have to be able to defend yourself against them, you know. I mean, you know, and that's why I carry conceal, you know, and I actually encourage a lot of people that live in the suburbs or in the city to actually go out and protest and become activists for Second Amendment rights, because if there's one way to actually stop crime in inner cities, is that if they allow law-abiding citizens, like I was at that time, to actually get concealed carry permits. You know, I remember about 2, maybe 3 years ago, the city of Philadelphia actually, Mayor Nutter was actually against regular citizens in Philadelphia actually getting a concealed carry permit or license to carry pistols or firearms. And he said, oh, it'd be like cowboy, it'd be the wild, wild west, and people would shoot for any kind of reason, you know, which all turned out to be a lie. Because ever since they enacted that law, which it was already a state law with the rest of the city, the rest of the state, crime actually dropped like 30% in Philadelphia. Yes, 30%. In other words, when the criminals actually found out that, hey, grandma might be packing a Glock 19 or 357 or 38 Chief Special, you know, stub nose, they stopped targeting average everyday people. They stopped going after them. Now they're targeting each other. Now you look at Fox 29 News, they're shooting each other, and they're shooting each other 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, because they're out there selling drugs and doing things that are illegal. You don't see it now. You used to see every day on the news before that law was enacted and statewide preemption law, that everyday people would be walking down the street, gunshot, little kids would be getting shot at schoolyards, playgrounds, and all that kind of stuff. You don't see that anymore. Why? Because now everyday citizens have the right to protect themselves. It is a God-given right, and it's a constitutional right. When people are actually allowed to exercise their freedom of choice, their freedom of being able to bear arms and publicly, then other people that like to target people fail. They get afraid, because typically predators always go after the weakest one. They really punks. If you ever knew anybody that actually did stick-ups or anything like that, the gun makes them a man. I went to high school with a couple. They later, after high school, they became stick-up people and all that. And in high school, they weren't all that tough. Matter of fact, I had to protect a couple of them in high school, because they were getting picked on. And, they're not that tough. But when you give them a gun, you give them a knife, you put them up against a woman, you put them up against a small child, you put them up against somebody that has a cane, is limping, somebody that's a woman, an old person, then they become Superman. They got an S on their chest. But, that's what guns were made for. They're made the great equalizer. And that's why we need, especially in the African American community, man, these black people have to stop supporting these Democrats who want to basically enslave them through this leftist, liberal, crazy stuff. You have to stop supporting them, because they're actually perpetuating the situation and the conditions that are going on in the hood. They are. All that crime and stuff, it would stop if they just stop slowing down people's ability to actually purchase and possess firearms legally. It would all stop. I'm quite passionate about this subject, because for years I was stuck in that communist state called New Jersey, where they arrest people for pellet guns. They arrest them for 22 rifles that hold 17 rounds instead of 15. They arrest people that go to the pistol range, then have to stop, go to the bathroom. They find out you got a gun, they lock you up. It's just ridiculous over there. And I really sincerely hope that some of these laws in Congress actually pass where they have reciprocity. I know a lot of people in the gun community don't exactly agree, but if you pass laws like that, it actually forces other states to actually pass their own concealed carry laws. And that's it today. This is why I carry conceal. Waiting for the zombie apocalypse. So you guys have a great day. God bless.